Hi, this is Angela McFarlane and you're stamping with aMac. This is another one of our projects that you will find in your goodie bag for the retreat. It is called a triple pocket twist card. So this is how it comes together. And you'll find there is pockets in here and you can slide in a little gift card, and here's your little piece that you can write your message on. You can pop your gift card in here or pop some cash or something in there, and it just gets secured with a belly band at the end. So I was inspired by my friend Laura Stranks for this project, and she helped me prep it. So you will receive a piece which is 8 1/4 inches wide by 8 1/8 inches long. So this has already been pre-scored for you, but I will tell you the measurements as well. So on the longer side, on the 8 1/4 inch side, you will score that in half at 4 1/8. And then you will turn it to the short side and you will score at 1/2 inch, 2 7/8, 5 1/4, and 7 5/8. And then what you will do is score from the 1/2 inch diagonally down across to this point here, which is your anyway, it's the second one along, the third one along, and then you'll repeat the process. So you've got 2 diagonal lines coming through, so you want to have 2 complete rectangles on either side. So then what we will do is we need to remove some bits for the flaps. So what we will remove is this section here and the opposite section here, and we'll also do a slight bevel on these edges as well. Before we do that though, what you need to do is to burnish all of your folds. So you want to go both ways. You have to give this a really, really good burnish, because that is what will make your card pop into place basically. So I'm just going in the one direction to start with all of my folds, all of my scores. And when I've done this direction, I will flip it over and go in the opposite direction. So what this will do is basically break down the fibers in both directions, which will make folding your card really easy when it comes to that point. So I've done all of those. I've done the middle one. Now I just need to do the diagonals as well. So you want to be really accurate when you're scoring these, because it'll work a lot better. So if you just pay a little bit of attention to your measurements when it comes to scoring, you'll get a really good result in the end. Okay, now that I've got everything scored and burnished, I will flip this over and I will do my little snips. So this is the flap that I want to keep, and I'll just snip that to the 1/4 inch mark. And it's easier to remove this either on your trimmer or with a bigger pair of scissors. So I have that there. So we're removing the opposite flaps. And these are the ones that the tape will be going on. So once again with the bigger scissors. Okay. Now that we have done that, basically we can stick our designer series paper on. So the designer series paper, the sizing of that I will provide in a PDF for you. So we have 3 rectangles, one is slightly bigger than the other two, and these other 2 rectangles, what you will need to do is trim them from the top corner to the bottom, so the top right to the bottom left diagonally, and that will create 4 pieces that are exactly the same, and they will fit in here. So I'll just sit where these want to go. So we're basically following this line down and we're popping it into opposite corners. So we're leaving spaces in between. So when I've put that where I want to have it, then I will just grab a little bit of liquid glue, because that gives you a little bit of wiggle room as well to nicely position it in place. Everyone's going to have different designer series paper patterns and different colors for their projects, but your end result will be the same but in different colors. So just remember that with your glue, less is more. If you don't want the glue oozing out, especially of these little thin pointy ends. So I just put a really thin bead of glue around. You really don't need a lot of glue for it to stick. So as you can see, using the liquid glue gives me the wiggle room that I need. And it's probably a good idea to choose a designer series paper that isn't directional for this kind of card. But I have purposely I have changed the direction of my stripes on this one. I think it will still work okay. But if you've got a really busy pattern that has to go in a particular direction, it won't really work. Okay, so now when I've got all of that in place, then I will add my tear and tape, and that will go to the flaps on the same side as we have stuck our DSP or our designer series paper to, and give that a firm push. So that's how that will look. Okay, so then basically this will get folded in half this way, and we will close these flaps, and I will just close the card in half and push that down. I didn't cut it very straight, so I'll just give that a bit of a trim there, and then we'll do the same on the other side as well. So I'll just peel that one off so the tape will hold our card together nicely. So when we've got it glued together like that, it will basically fold into shape, and if it's a little bit stiff, we just give it a little bit more of a burnish. So you can see my paper's going in the opposite direction for those, but that gives it a nice little contrast on the front of the card. So you can just give everything a good burnish again and flip it over, and that will just flatten everything down nicely. So that's the base of our card. Now for the inside little note card, you will have two pieces, a base colour and a white. You will glue them together and attach your little decorative strip down the bottom, and that will go inside this pocket. If you just slide it down, that will fit in nicely there. And then for the belly band, we don't want this super tight, but I'll pop that on first and just fold that around. You will have a little bit of overlap on the back, and I always like to pop a bit of tape just on that end and then on this underneath part, so then when that's stuck together, the two will stick together nicely and hold it nice and firmly closed. My tape's just a little bit wider than my strip, but that's okay. I can roll the tape back. Okay, so I always like to line these pieces up so they're nice and neat at the back. So that is your belly band that will be able to remove off the card. But I'll just sit that in place for the minute, and then you can attach your greeting. So I'm just going to pop my greeting a little bit lower here, but I'm going to put it on dimensionals, and because I want to be able to remove the belly band but not the greeting, I'm going to pop my dimensionals a little bit lower down. So I don't know where my big dimensionals are at the moment, otherwise I'd just use a couple of those, but I'll make sure that that's the bottom of the card. This will do the trick. I always use all my bits and pieces, and I'll just make sure that that will not stick to the belly band. So there, I know that my belly band can still slide and sit underneath. So there you have it. So this is just a different example with different colors for you. I hope you enjoy the triple pocket twist card. If you have any questions, come and see me on the day. Otherwise, happy stamping. I hope you're enjoying the retreat, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.